Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, today we are going to end a mystery on Bulldog Media. With me today is the one and only Wesley Deters. Welcome to the Bulldog Show, Wesley Deters.
All right, thank you very much.
The host of the Freedom File, which, by the way, you're doing very well. We have to start with this, Wesley, because this is fun, because this goes, I think yesterday somebody said my brother, because Wesley could be a male name.
That's right.
Just like my daughter's name, Charlie Ann. So we have to just clear this up out of the gate, and we have fun with this, that you're Wesley Deters. Absolutely no relation to me, correct?
Absolutely no relation to you at all. Every day working with you, I get that you're my brother, my father, my husband, my cousin, uncle.
It's funny.
It is funny.
It is funny. Now, Wesley, we didn't meet because your mother, Paula Miller, so people in Fort Mitchell know Paula Miller is your mother, and your stepfather is George Miller, the surgeon. She was my campaign manager when I ran for county attorney way back when. And they had a fundraiser at their house for me. The Joe Deters actually came to it. I raised a lot of money. It was like a record for a county fundraising event at the time. But I remember that your brother, who was like 2 or 3 years old, was there. But I didn't see you.
Yeah, I was probably swimming. I was a very, staunch athlete growing up, very disciplined. So
yes, you were. You went to Beechwood, and you were a D1 swimmer, correct?
Yep.
Where did you swim collegiately?
I swam at Penn State and then transferred and swam for UK.
What time frame was this? I'm not going to ask you your age, but what time frame was it?
2003 to 2007.
During that time frame, did you get to swim against or around some of these famous Olympian swimmers?
I did, yeah. Yep.
Like Phelps?
I would see Phelps at some, big U.S. national meets, Ryan Lochte, some of those big names. That was my era. Mm-hmm.
Now, this show's all about you, so I am going to force yourself to talk about yourself. You have some very interesting college degrees.
I do.
So tell the ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, what are your college degrees?
I have English, British literature, emphasis in Chaucer and Shakespeare. So kind of a linguistics angle there as well. I have a minor in art history, which you would pair all of these together, and I thought for the longest time I'd be going to law school. Out of college, I was recruited to work in couture fashion, so I relocated to Los Angeles and was bi-coastal between Los Angeles and New York at the time, working in couture fashion before I eventually moved home and settled in.
Bi-coastal?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Bi-coastal. Before I eventually moved back home and settled down, started a family, and kind of got into more business management roles here.
And what was the last job that you had before Bulldog Media? What was it that you were doing? From here.
From here. I was working for a retailer, Talbot's, and I managed their flagship here locally and also several other locations within the region. So it was kind of a business management role.
And your husband, is how you got your Deters name,
right.
is a small business owner, and you have 3 children?
Yes, sir.
And it's my understanding that your 3 children are close to the same age as my 3 angels from Charlie Ann and Chad, correct?
That's correct. They actually became friends at an athletic training facility that we were taking them to, and that's really how Charlie and Ann and I met, and that's how our kids became friendly, and then we started seeing them at sporting events, and there was a lot of crossover socially in that capacity also. So.
Now, I met you, this is funny, I met you when one Saturday I agreed to meet 3 crazy young ladies at my office, Cassie Schabel, Andrea Humpert, and yourself, and I couldn't believe it, and I never met you before. You were the one whose name was submitted to be the Kenton County Republican chairman from the Rebels, correct?
That's correct, yep, that is correct.
And of course, we know what happened. They controlled the meeting completely. And unlike Boone County and Campbell County, the bad guys still control the Kenton County Republican Party.
But they've been exposed thanks to the Bulldog Show and to others.
You girls, you ladies did it.
Well, we had the people there, and there was no question what happened that day. And of course, this was on the heels of me holding local office in Park Hills on City Council. So we were able to recruit locally. The three of us and those two girls really, really worked hard for turnout, and that was an unfortunate day, but the outcome was that we were able to hold many other counties to account in terms of transparency for their reorg meetings as well. So there was a positive outcome.
So based upon my interaction with you and your mother, Paula Miller, out of the blue, I came up with the idea of, you know what, I need a president of Bulldog Media to take the cup from me of a lot of daily stuff, a lot of stuff to help me build a media company. And you accepted that position, and so you are now the president of Bulldog Media.
I did, and I want everyone to know why. You and I had tossed the idea around for a few weeks, and there was one meeting we had, and I said, Bulldog, I said, what is the mission? What is the mission of Bulldog Media? Why are you doing this? And you said to me, just off the cuff, it was brilliant, and you said, the mission is Americans fighting for America. And I said, you need to trademark that. And I knew in that moment it was illuminating for me. I knew that it was the cause that I wanted to be a part of, and you were the leader to do it, and I couldn't wait to join your team.
Well, that is a great story. And I remember after I said that and you responded, I said, my God, that's a pretty good phrase, isn't it? Americans fight America. And that is what Bulldog Media. Now, I like to, you know this from like my law show yesterday with the Jax thing. I like to taunt my enemies.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just do it. It's my way of letting them know that they're not going to stop me. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that are going to be cynics about what we're doing. And I want to just share a few things that we do. We're obviously building around the Bulldog Show, Bulldog Reports, which Mark Hansel works on. But we are building a team. We have people like Sabrina producing, Josh Wentz, Jacob, I call him Buddha, Jacob Barton, who does, and you interviewed him on the first.
Jacob's wonderful.
Jacob's wonderful. But one thing I love about our little team here is that we all believe in the mission.
Right.
There's nobody from the mission, from our social media folks, like, I'm going to leave somebody's name out there, Chuck Holbrook and his wife, Rebecca. Everybody on our team just believes in the mission. And tell the ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, Bulldog Nation, a little bit about BulldogTV.com.
BulldogTV.com was birthed out of the need to find a solution for the deplatforming and the censorship that you were facing. So coming in as president of Bulldog Media, I knew that was going to be the number one issue we were going to face moving forward. And it would certainly be the number one problem that we were going to have to overcome if we were going to scale and grow. After we faced several Facebook jail,
30 days jail. I'm in one right now. I think I got 24 more days.
Right, and YouTube, and it was just constant. It was a battle that we were poised to lose.
Right.
And so we knew that having Bulldog TV and investing in that platform and you believing in what you're doing and your mission for this media company, we knew that was going to be our opportunity to preserve freedom of speech, which is what our media company is doing. We're preserving the First Amendment. We're fighting for what's right. We are unapologetically pro-American, and we are not going to be silenced over that. And so BulldogTV.com is where I would urge everyone to go, to subscribe, join, follow, but more importantly than just visiting and watching and joining is to share.
Right.
You've got to share the content. That is the only way the message gets out.
You know, I grew up reading a lot of children's books myself, and then I remember reading children's books to my little brothers and sisters. And I love those little simple stories. And one of my favorites was The Little Engine That Could. Mm-hmm. And you got kids, I don't know if that book's still around, but The Little Engine That Could. And I'm going to use that as an example of that we are very small right now. Mm-hmm. Although we do have a team of like 10 people now. Mm-hmm. And we have people in great support roles. We have Chris Mackey as our trademark. We have we have Brad Amster. You know, we have an app. You know, you can download the app of the Bulldog Show, download the app of Bulldog Reports. And those that don't know, the Bulldog Reports is our repository of news, mm-hmm. which is pro-Trump, pro-conservative, pro-libertarian. And then we have Bulldog TV. You're doing the Freedom File. We want to add content to BulldogTV.com. Steve Summers from the trucking show called me last night, and I was on his show. He's interested in, putting his show on this platform. But you know what? I just want everybody to know, and I know you're in it with me because you're a shareholder. We're the only two shareholders. I want you to know, I want the public to know that we are totally committed to this, because in addition to building all of that up, I've made the decision that we are going to report on news which is relevant to our mission.
Right.
And we've hired, our latest hire, Natalie Cunningham.
She's great.
Which was a children's hospital employee.
She's great.
And she's great. She's a go-getter.
Yes.
And you don't have to have, I always joke about these journalism. They act like you got to go to journalism school. No, you don't. Anybody can be a journalist.
Right.
There's no license to be a journalist. And Natalie is going to be great. Josh is great. Yes. And we're going to one hire at a time. And anybody watching this, if you want a job, email me at eric@ericdeters.com, the resume, and we'll take a look at it. Because we are going to have a team of reporters that cover the tri-state, regionally, politics, and law. That's what we're focused on. We're not going to do weather. We're not going to bother with all that. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover that from the angle of the conservative, pro-Trump, with your help. And you're wonderful. You're doing a great job. Is that we are going to do this.
Yep.
Andy Gross from Intel said that the number one reason a business fails isn't just lack of capital, it's lack of 100% commitment. And I believe in this 100%.
And your team does. You've surrounded yourself with amazing people.
Yeah, everybody on the team does. And you know what's funny about it is, if you watch 5, 9, 12, 19 in the Inquirer, they are just like the national liberal news media. They put that bent on everything they do. So I see an amazing opportunity to do what we are doing. I mean, don't you agree? I mean,
I agree.
And it feels good, doesn't it?
It feels like you're on the right side of history. It feels like
feels honest.
You're doing something honest. You're working towards something that's going to affect the lives of people, and that cause is invaluable.
Another thing that's funny that the haters don't understand is that this is also the marketing arm of Deters Law. So they just don't get it. And there's no law firm around town that has 12,000 YouTube subscribers. And I joke all the time. I call myself a Z-list celebrity, and I always joke. I said, it's not Kardashian numbers, but there isn't any other law firm that has 12,000 subscribers to their marketing arm of their channel.
That's right.
And 80,000 Facebook followers and 50,000 followers on TikTok.
That's right.
All that.
And growing.
And growing. And we've done it for a year. When I think about where we are in just this past year and where we're headed, we're going to build a new headquarters. I mean, down at the bottom of Dudley and 3L. I mean, I'm just so excited. And in my I wake up every morning, Wesley, my two number one assignments are, what can I do in the law firm and what can I do to build this media company? Yeah. And it's working because what's that? We won't name the name. We won't give them a free. Somebody else is starting a Northern Kentucky media company, and one of their sponsors is St. Elizabeth Healthcare.
Hilarious. It's more of the same.
It's more of the same.
It's going to be the hospital's way of controlling the message to the public.
Correct. I mean, they're not going to be a competitor of ours.
Bulldog Media is not controlled by St. E, folks.
Right. And I love, and I know you keep bringing it up, and we're now talking about ways that we can monetize what we're doing with small businesses. But I am so committed to this that I refuse to be owned, canceled, controlled by any major corporation. I mean, that's another thing people don't realize. What we're doing, we can't be stopped, controlled, censored. We don't have any sponsors, not because we don't. We choose not to because we want that liberty.
Right, right.
And it works financially because of what comes into the law firm.
There's no obligation except to come on here and tell the people the truth. And
something that really was an event that we got behind, and you did a great job because you were the head of the event, is Freedom Fest.
Yeah.
What a success Freedom Fest. I mean, I was so nervous, but now we did what it took to make it a success, bringing in Kimberly Guilfoyle, bringing in Tommy Lahren, but building the stage and all that, but have 8,000 people.
It was overwhelming. I mean, it was humbling.
Right.
It was so humbling, but at the same time, it was magnificent, and it was such a treasure. It really was.
That event, more than anything else, made me realize we are definitely onto something.
We're onto something. Sure.
Those people that came there from northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and other states even, wanted to come to a place where they felt safe with other like patriots. And you know what? I'll go ahead and say it. There has never been a political rally with that many people in the history of northern Kentucky. There hasn't been one in Cincinnati that didn't involve Donald Trump. Donald Trump, U.S. Bank Arena.
Right.
I went to George Bush 43's rally in DeVue Park. There wasn't 8,000 people there.
That's amazing.
I mean, there was a couple thousand, but there wasn't 8,000 people. I mean, that was the largest crowd. And you know what's so funny about it is all those people that think like us were there. You know who never even contacted us? All the rhinos.
Establishment Republicans.
All the establishment Republicans.
They couldn't stand it.
They couldn't stand
Hilarious.
it. They could not stand it.
They
and they
thought,
don't comment about it. But you know, they watched that and said, holy cow, Bulldog's got 8,000 people out there. Now, there's something else I just thought
And that
of.
should caution them of the movement.
Oh, there's a movement, and we're leading the movement.
And we're leading the movement.
By the way, I want to brag about something that's cool. Kimberly Guilfoyle, was she not just so cool? She was so real and
She's
so
down
cool.
to earth.
Down to earth.
Yes.
And she said that she wanted to get me down to Mar-a-Lago. And I said, sure. And she goes, well, there's going to be this big exclusive event going to Mar-a-Lago, and we'd like to get you there. And I said, well, thanks, let me know. Well, I was thinking, well, they probably forget about that. Well, yesterday I got a message from her assistant that gave me the date and said, make sure you hold that date. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to Mar-a-Lago.
Do it. I can't wait to hear
It's
about
going to be great.
It's going to be great.
But I would like for you, I just keep thinking of things, but I don't care how long this goes. I think this is important for people to know what we're doing, especially our enemies and our haters, is you are holding, you're leading it up. We are hosting on December the 4th from 10 to 2, which is a Saturday, at 2006 Patriot Way, which is the old West Banco and Independence up by the BP. We're hosting a candidates forum where people who maybe want to run for school board, city council, county office, all of those to come, and we're going to give them information. We're going to try to push them in different directions, like if somebody shows up, okay, what you want to run for office, what office? And I'm excited about that because that Republican establishment needs to know they're going to get primaried.
We're organized.
We're getting organized.
We're getting
organized.
organizing.
School board candidates, city council candidates, county candidates. And I love it, and we're going to do it.
And we are going to cover these midterms as a media company as well into the end of next year. We're going to follow this through for the candidate open house. This is a resource hub. This is an opportunity for anyone who's interested to come to the West Banco building in Independence from 10 a.m. to 2 p. Have some donuts and some coffee, ask questions. We'll have handouts for you. We'll have maps. We'll have precincts and districts outlined for you. We'll teach you how to e-file. We'll go through how to run a campaign. I've held office before. You know, I can certainly help guide you. And this is something that we're passionate about. We want our people to feel supported. We want people who are like-minded to get in there and be brave and take on leadership roles. It's really the only way we're going to turn things around.
And now has never been the best time.
This is it.
A trucker who spent $153 took out the Democratic Senate leader in New Jersey.
That's right.
I rest my case. Now is the time. And we have to give these people support. And like I said, up at the, that's another thing we went to, the farm. And we the people in Ohio, West Side asked me to come up, and we recorded that. And all those people were there. I told everybody there, I got a studio. Got a studio. So these people that come on December 4th, if they choose to run, they can come in here and produce a message for their social media if they want it, the Bulldog endorsement. And by the way, we're gonna run this organization of recruitment the same way we're running Bulldog Media. If you're not on the team, sorry.
Right.
In other words, we don't want anybody that comes in and says, well, I don't know if I really want to be tied into the Trump.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be a believer. And you know what? I can tell you this, and you know this already, preaching to the choir with you. The number one thing when you try a case or you run for political office is credibility, credibility, credibility. And the way you win credibility is you have to believe what the hell you're saying yourself.
Believe in it and live it.
And right. You have to just do that. So that's an exciting thing. Now,
very exciting.
Let's end with one more exciting thing. You're the best. By the way, this is so funny. You're good friends with Chad and Charlie Ann, my daughter and son-in-law. I love all their friends. They have the best group of young people who
that doesn't surprise me.
and you know what? They all treat me so well.
Yeah.
They get a kick out of me. Like one of the moms told Charlie, he goes, "Boy, your dad's always in trouble, isn't he?" But then she goes, "I love it."
I love it.
In other words, they're real.
Right.
They're real good. And by the way, they all see things the way we see it.
Right.
They see it the way we see it.
Right. Clear eyes, full hearts. And I tell you, I will give a shout out to Chad.
I love young people.
Because Chad and I worked together on Freedom Fest. It could not have been done without him and his crew. And what I will tell you is instantly what I loved about Chad was his work ethic.
Oh, unbelievable.
And his determination.
Unbelievable.
And his refusal to fail.
Right.
And all of that shined through. It was very, very obvious. And of course, you know, he's your son-in-law, so that's not surprising either that,
right.
you know, that you're an influence on that. But Chad and Charlie Ann are very great. They're special.
But I've decided, and this is amazing because my wife is so private. In fact, people probably wonder, I tell her all the time, I said, you know, there's never any pictures of you on my social media. People wonder, like, is he really married? She just is that private. She does not want pictures. But she did agree to allow me to run for governor. And we're getting the papers together to be filed. We'll file them next week. The intent to file, that's what's it called, right?
It's a letter of intent.
Letter of intent.
So we're about 12 months out of the actual filing,
okay.
where you file and it's on record at the Secretary of State. Now what you can do is you can file a letter of intent in advance, which allows you to start fundraising. Okay,
and we're going to do that. And you agreed to be my lieutenant governor candidate. And that is exciting as heck.
It's very exciting.
And we joke all the time that our bumper sticker might say, Deters, no relation.
That's our yard sign.
Deters, no relation. But you know, this is funny. I thought about this. And we'll give a little preview to what the Bulldogs platform is for governor. And that platform is pro-Trump. So anybody in the state of Kentucky that likes Trump, well, that's where we are. We're on all those policies. I came up with the 3 pillars of America: God, the Constitution, and it was the Bill of Rights, and then capitalism is what America is based on. We believe in that. We want less taxes, less regulation, all of that. And then I just love this. I saved this for them. I'm already working on it. A complete overhaul of our civil and legal justice system, which involves faster justice, fairer justice, and better justice. Boy, I just might have coined the phrase for the platform. For Kentuckians, because it is so broke, you know, and everybody has a bad story. If you've gone through the justice system, whether it's a small criminal matter, a domestic relations matter, and for example, the Bar Association, how they control it. I'll go ahead and announce this. Part of that platform is going to be the elimination of the bars. You have a mandatory bar association.
It's excellent.
You should not. You should be. You know what? If you're a painter, you don't have to belong to the Kentucky Painters Association.
Right.
Why do you have to have a lawyer? It is the way they try to control. So that's what we're going to run on. But here's what I thought of last night, Wesley, which is great. All these people, when they pick their lieutenant governor candidate, I think they sit around and they say, okay, I'm from here. I need to pick somebody that balances my ticket. You know, I need to get somebody from Louisville. Maybe I need to get somebody. And you know what? You know what I want on my ticket? I want somebody who's competent, talented, and believes what I believe in, and that's you.
Thank you. That's very nice.
I mean, you're like my perfect lieutenant, and you're so good about how handling me, like when I say stuff that's really crazy, like the end of my show yesterday that you edited. I mean, but you handle me like a pro. I mean, you just let me do my thing, and you know when to say something, when not to say anything. But you're like a perfect lieutenant governor candidate for me because you believe what I believe in. And I love the fact that you're younger and you're a mom. By the way, the Republican Party is the party of parents, right?
I'm going to be speaking to the parents. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have 3 little boys, so.
And we are anti-mask.
Yes,
For school kids, we're anti-vax. We're going to be unapologetic. And there's going to be a whole group of people that hate everything that we say, and we don't care, do we?
We do not.
Because we're going to represent those people that believe what we have to say because we think that's best for Kentucky. But I thought about this pandering stuff like by region and everything else. You know what? We're going to do something else that no other candidate for governor's ever done. We're not going to pander.
No, we're not going to pander.
You know what? If you live in eastern Kentucky, and by the way, I got Harlan County roots. My mom's from Harlan County, Kentucky. If you live in Louisville, Bowling Green, Fulton County at the far end of the state, Pike County, northern Kentucky, Laurel County, someplace in the southern part of the state, you know what is good for one Kentuckian is good for every Kentuckian.
Good for every Kentuckian. That's right.
Isn't it? I mean, you know,
they don't even realize it. They don't even know.
And we don't need any more corporate welfare. You know, they sell out the state, tax abatements, corporate welfare. We just need a Kentucky for the first time that has good jobs, which always starts with good jobs, and just right on policy. What's good for an American is good for a Kentuckian.
Right.
Which means Trump's policies.
Right. It's simple.
Less regulation.
Less regulation. Less government.
Less government.
Less tax.
Less tax.
Freedom. Let us be free.
And it cracks me up that Kentucky, all these people there, they always blah, 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 and it never changes. The state never changes. It's just sad.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it, and we make no bones about it. I don't care who runs. People talk about the Attorney General might run. Well, if the Attorney General runs, that's fine because everybody in Kentucky is going to know that the Attorney General is Mitch McConnell's guy. All right. So we'll gladly run a primary against Mitch McConnell if we have to. Kelly Craft, who is Trump's ambassador to Canada, I hear that she's talking about running. Well, all I can say about that is we'll see who can connect speaking to those Trump voters around the state of Kentucky better, me or her. I'll keep the Reagan 11th commandment, but it doesn't mean that I won't welcome the challenge to be on that debate stage with Kelly Craft and David Cameron. We'll see what the Trump voter around the state of Kentucky, and sorry, I know who they're going to like. They're going to like our message, and they're going to like the messenger of me.
Yes, they will. And they'll love your energy.
Right.
And they'll love your optimism. And they'll love your bravery. It's
They're
an honor.
They're going to love my lieutenant governor candidate too.
It's an honor and a privilege, and I couldn't be more excited.
You will handle that lieutenant governor thing. And then, of course, there's state legislators that always run. And you know what? When the last time a state legislature became elected governor in recent history? Never. I mean, the people that are state legislature have no chance.
Right.
And and by the way, I'm going to answer the Ted Kennedy question. Well, why are you doing it? Why are you running? I'll tell you why I'm running. Just like we have Americans fighting for America, I want, if it's not me, who else? We all sit back and complain. I mean, let's face it, in the media studio, we complain all the time about politicians. Right. Well, when do we not have an obligation to say, hey, do it? And what's happened to me over the course of the past year is I had all these people tell me, and I laughed it off at first, there's like big fans. They said, Bulldog, you need to run for governor. Bulldog, you need to run for governor. Bulldog, you need to run for governor. Bulldog, you're going to run for governor? So it was this groundswell of our fans that kept asking me that, and I finally said, why not run for governor? I mean, it's going to drive Jane Herrick, the bar counsel of...
There'll be some satisfaction involved.
She's going to say, what's he doing running for? He doesn't even have his law license. Right. By the way, this is what they don't get. I'm going to use my fight against the Bar Association to get votes.
And you will.
I mean, I will. I will use it. By the way, who loves lawyers?
I know.
Lawyers are rated at the very bottom of anything, and there's a reason why. So the fact that I have fought the Bar Association is political capital, but they don't get that. They try to destroy me, minimalize, all that. But we have so many exciting things to do.
It's exciting.
And Wesley, I look forward to what the next year brings for us. We're just going to, you know, our motto, day after day, week after week, month after month, and we look back in a year, but this is going to be an exciting year.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you for accepting the position
Thank you
of
for having me.
president
It's
and
the
lieutenant
greatest
governor.
role I've ever had.
All right, it's going to be exciting. And by the way, I want to tell everybody, she's big time. This woman has worked in some big time companies, L.A., New York City. She's big time, well educated. I think you left off a degree. Don't you have a linguistics degree?
No, I have an emphasis.
An emphasis in linguistics. Shakespeare, Chaucer.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We don't get you to start picking our daily Shakespeare.
It's a shock I'm not a liberal professor.
Right, it is. Wesley,
I was raised well.
Wesley,
My mother.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your mother is a pistol, and her blood runs through your veins.
Oh, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, this has been Wesley Deters, my special guest, the president of Bulldog Media. Unapologetic Americans fighting for America, and we'll soon be fighting for every Kentuckian. No pandering. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Deters, no relation. I had to close with that.
Good. It's good. I love it.